So on the top left-hand corner are the public networks. That's the Googles and the Facebooks and the Twitters and various private communities that you may work with. On the right-hand side is one that often people don't talk about enough, and I'll return to this momentarily, but that's the private communities that the best companies in the world create to control the content and the dialogue with your customers rather than in the public. But both work. They're both different types of communities. And what is now available are the listening tools. That kind of sits in the middle, that listen and filter information based on either keywords or a variety of different criteria that you would use. We're going to listen to what people say about our company or about a particular topic that you ultimately want to sell into or market into. But the tools today exist to listen carefully. So an example would be Radian6. Some of you may have heard of that. That's a good listening tool, one of 200 for that matter, that do a good job at keyword filtering information. The next step in the framework is to now take that information and send it down to your CRM system. Why? Well, because your CRM system should house the profile of a particular prospect or customer. So this is one for AAA, one of our customers, and it lists, you can kind of go, if you think of this as a daisy, the customer's in the core or the center of the daisy. The petals are information about that customer. And what a good CRM system does, what every CRM system worth its beans does, is it sets up a profile for every customer that's holistic or comprehensive. The problem today is most of the profiles do not contain the social insight. They contain transactional information. Now, transaction information is good, what they did and what they said they do and so forth, and that's very important in a relationship. But so too is what that customer said about you as a company, what they liked or what they didn't like. And the way to get to the hearts of the decision makers is not just on transactional, but it's mixing transactional with emotional or sentimental. And that's what the new social media allows us to do, is we drive down through the listening devices. So we listen in the middle, we drive it down into our CRM system. So now all of a sudden our profile is no longer static or transactional, it's dynamic and has that emotional capability. And that's pretty darn critical when approaching in a sales call and a marketing call, or for that matter, taking the next step, which is a customer engagement. So if we've listened carefully to public and private communities through the listening tools, we've filtered the information, we've sent it down via APIs into our CRM system, we're now ready to action that information inside type of a customer engagement. And for that, I'd like to share 2 customer engagements with you this morning. So we have been testing CRM software since 1989 in our laboratory in Bethesda, Maryland. We have no relationships with any vendor. I don't care whether they like us or don't like us. Most of them do. That we're a well-respected company. But I chose one, not because it's any better than anybody else. And I see a second example. So I don't want to put any bias in this, but this one is Salesforce.com that bought Radian6, which is the listening device, about a year ago, and they've done a pretty respectable job of integrating the two. So let's run the framework through this particular example and take a customer engagement. So this is the Radian6 dashboard user interface. On the bottom right-hand side, this is TD Bank that is monitoring tweets on Twitter about TD Bank. So from my console in Radian6, I now click a button and I'm into what is the workflow stack where I can prioritize the tweets as to importance that I perceive what that individual or what those people are saying about my particular company or product. I'm still in Radian6. I'm clicking a button now from within Radian6 and I'm saying take a particular tweet that causes me some concern and make a customer service case out of this. Set up a customer service case. So I click another button. I've just created that in Salesforce.com. We're now inside Salesforce.com. It tells us we have a particular tweet. TD Bank is the worst bank in the United States and so forth, from which I now bring it to my CSR, my customer service rep, and my customer service rep within inside the CRM system takes that individual customer engagement. Everybody on board? Let's go to a second example. And by the way, that's just again a good example, I think, as is the second one, of starting by listening, in this particular case, on the left-hand side of the graph to public social communities, filtering the information, in this case TD Bank, for particular areas of information, taking that through the Radiant 6 and sending it down to Salesforce.com CRM system, then taking that CRM system and acting upon it, in their case, via the CSR, customer service rep for an action.